Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. Today we are looking at Saint Sinner issue 3. This is from Marvel's Razorline imprint, which was characters created by Clive Barker. Now we pick up where we left off, more or less. That's kind of hard to tell passage of time here. We're with the Saint as he's talking to the two spirits that live in his head, the demon and the saint, I guess, or angel. It's a very convoluted story. Effectively, he's trying to learn more about them, and it's a little vague as it's told through flashbacks of sitcoms that he saw and movies and sort of thing. Basically, there's three people sharing one space, which is in his mind. You've got the angel, the demon, and of course Philip. So we learn, in fact, the demons that were attacking him previously, known as the Smiths, were actually freed by his friend Kanto, and they broke up. They were originally like one being that broke apart into many from the sound of it, and there are 6 of them. And I guess it's Saint Sinner's job to stop them and answer people's prayers, maybe? I'm not real clear on it. The demon and the angel are inhabiting him, the angel to cancel out the demon, or some nonsense like that. Then we go over to Kanto, and he meets himself. Past self meets a future self in a place that he constructed in the future, but he regards himself as an enemy at that point because this future self is trapped in this place, but his past self is not. So the future version of Kanto tells the past version of Kanto that there is a monster in the harbor, and he has to go back in time and talk to Frank Kelly, who is going to design an album cover and create some various stories on parchment. And then past Kanto is going to go back to the far distant past to create the legend of the Saint Sinner. Future Kanto is stuck in this place called the Vertesk, but he can't time jump anymore or do any of the dimensional hopping or anything like that. The past version of him goes, and that's when the Saint Sinner shows up, and they talk, and they find out that, in fact, the creature that had escaped with them, that got split into a tentacle, is still alive and in the Chicago harbor and is killing people, and the Saint has to go and stop it. And they open a gate together, and the Saint emerges out of the gate in what appears to be a park, and that's where the issue ends. It's pretty interesting that at one point, by trying to block out the prayers, the Saint's face mutates to look suspiciously like the demon. Yeah, it's another convoluted issue. It's trying really hard to be deep and intellectual, like the Vertigo lines of the time, like Books of Magic and Sandman, and I don't think it quite works. It's a good effort, but I think they're trying a little too hard. Elaine Lee was in over her head, and I don't particularly care for Max Douglas's artwork. The way Kanto is drawn is kind of neat. It's definitely an interesting method of taking like a swirly photograph and using it as his jacket, and that was kind of cool, but it was pretty innovative for its time. But computers have really made that more of a passe thing at this point, because anybody could do it with Photoshop. But yeah, overall, it was pretty forgettable issue. The story could be really good, but I don't think that the creative team was the right fit for this book. They probably just took the job to try and get some mainstream credit, which I totally understand that, but I think they got in a little over their head, and the story just isn't quite worth. So I'm gonna have to say this one is probably another miss, and it's looking like the series as a whole, there's a reason it only lasted 7 issues. But we'll check out issue 4 next time and see how it looks. Hopefully we'll get to that in a day or two so we can get back on track and get to the crossover with Ecto Kid. But that'll do it for this one. As always, thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.